Hello my dear students, today once again I am here in front of you with a new topic of English grammar. Today we are going to discuss about narration. So the name of the topic is what? Narration. Another name of narration is what? Speech. Narration or speech, we can divide it in two categories. One is what? Direct, another one is what? Indirect. Direct narration or direct speech, indirect narration or indirect speech. So we can write it. Narration can be divided into two parts. One is direct, another one is what? Indirect. So preliminary discussion of narration has already been completed in class 9. Then also I will try my level best to start from the very beginning. Simply we can identify a sentence whether it is in direct form or in indirect form from its construction, how it is written. From there we can identify whether it is direct or indirect. In direct narration we will get what? Comma and inverted comma. In direct narration we will get what? Comma and inverted comma, and in indirect narration there will be no comma and inverted comma. Within inverted comma, the speech of the speaker will be written as it is. Direct narration means what? When we quote something, as it is without changing anything, this is what? Direct narration. If somebody had said something to me and if I have quoted the same thing as it is without changing, this is what? Direct narration. And if somebody had said something to me and I have quoted the same thing in my own language, it will be indirect narration. And in indirect narration we will not use what? Comma and inverted comma. For example, if we take the example of Ram said, I am a student. If I tell the same thing to somebody else, Ram said, I am a student. This is what? Direct narration, because Ram said I am a student and I have written the same thing, I am a student. This is what? Direct narration. And when we will quote, we have to use what? Comma after reporting verb, and the speech what he had said, I am a student, it will be the reported speech, it will be inside the quotation. And if I say the same thing in my own language, that Ram said that he was a student, Ram said that he was a student in my own language without using comma and inverted comma, this is what? Indirect narration. So from here we have understood that direct narration is the narration, or direct narration is the speech where we quote the speaker's sentence as it is. And indirect narration is the sentence or is the narration in which we quote the speaker's speech in our own language. This is what? Indirect narration. So simply for identification, this part before comma, the verb will be what? Reporting verb, and inside this quotation this part will be what? Reported speech. Reporting verb, and this is what? Reported speech. You have to be clear which one is reporting verb and which one is reported speech, because from now onwards what I am going to discuss, I will tell only reporting verb and reported speech. So I hope this much you have understood what is direct narration or direct speech and what is indirect narration or what is indirect speech, and how to identify that also I have said. Simply for identification, if we get comma and inverted comma in a sentence, we will understand that this sentence is of direct narration, and if we do not get comma and inverted comma, we have to understand that this is what? Indirect narration. So here in this class we will discuss how to change direct narration to indirect and how to bring back indirect narration to direct narration. Narration can be changed according to the sentences. How many sentences are there? On the basis of the meaning of the sentence, sentences are of 5 types: assertive, interrogative, imperative, optative and exclamatory. So in 5 ways we have to change the narration. That means we have 5 distinct rules according to the sentences for changing narration. First of all, we are going to start with assertive sentence. How to change narration from direct to indirect. Assertive sentence. So for that now we must know what is assertive sentence. Assertive sentence is a simple statement. Assertive sentence is a simple statement where there is no question, where there is no wish, where there is no exclamation, where there is no order, advice. This is what assertive sentence. To change narration of assertive sentence from direct to indirect, what to do? We must know the rules. First rule, very carefully you listen to me, and it will be easier for you if you note this down in your copy. It will help you better. First rule is what? If the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, then there will be no change of tense in reported speech. First rule says, if the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, then there will be no change of tense in reported speech. This is the first rule. Then what to do? Only in place of comma and quotation we have to put that, and according to the subject and object of the reporting verb, we have to change the subject and object of the reported speech if necessary. If it is not necessary, then we are not to change. If it is necessary, then we have to change the subject and object of the reported speech on the basis of the subject and object of the reporting verb. First rule, I think it is clear. Once more I am telling, if the reporting verb is in present tense or in future tense, then there will be no change of tense in reported speech. Only in place of comma and quotation we have to put that, and according to the subject and object of the reporting verb we have to change the subject and object of the reported speech. This is the first rule. For that, if in reporting verb, if we get said to, then it will become what? Told. Said to, S-A-I-D, said to, it will become what? Told. Said to will be what? Told. And says to will be tells, and rest others will remain same. Rest others will remain same. If it is shall say, will say, it will remain same. Only said to will be what? Told, and says to will be what? Tells. Some more changes are there we have to do while changing direct to indirect. Those things we have already discussed in earlier classes. Once more I am telling you what to do. Today will be what? That day. Yesterday will be the day before, or the previous day. Tomorrow will be the next day, or the following day. If we simply write next day or following day, it is wrong. We have to use what? The next day or the following day. This will be what? That. These will be what? Those. One more word. Now will be then, and some words, some more words are there. This come becomes go, here becomes there. These are conditionals. Always come will not become go, and always here will not become there. These are conditional. What are the conditions? I'll tell you at the time when I'll discuss those things. So these are the words while changing from direct to indirect we have to remember. This side will be in direct form and that side will be in indirect form. So first rule what I said, rule is what? If in direct narration the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, then there will be no change of tense in reported speech. Only in place of comma and quotation we have to put that, and according to the subject and object of the reporting verb we have to change the subject and object of the reported speech if necessary. So let's see one or two examples for that. He says my father is a teacher. So it is not says to, it will be what? He says. In place of comma quotation, that reporting verb is in present tense, that's why there will be no change of tense in reported speech. So reported speech is in present tense, is telling us that this sentence is in present tense, so there will be no change of tense. Only the subject of the reported speech here will be changed on the basis of the subject of the reporting verb. He is saying, that means he says. My father, that means he says his father. So it will be what? His father. His father is a teacher. This example is of present tense. One more example, you see, I shall say. I shall do the work tomorrow. So here we are not to change, because I said if it is said to, then it will be told. If it is says, then it will be says to, then it will be tells. Rest others will remain same. So it is not says to or say said to, it is shall say, so it will remain same. I shall say, in place of comma quotation, that. Then this part reporting verb is in future tense, that's why there will be no change of tense in reported speech. It is also in future indefinite tense, it will remain in future indefinite tense. Only we have to see whether to change the subject. Yes, we are not to change the subject here, because the subject of the reported speech is I and subject of the reporting verb is also I. So there will be no change of subject and object here. Here there is no object, so on the basis of the object we are not to change anything. So it will remain same. Tense also will remain same and subject also will remain same. Why? Because both the subjects are same. So I shall say that I shall do the work, and here it is tomorrow. I have given you the list. Tomorrow will become what? It is there in the list. Tomorrow will become the next day. This is all about the rule number 1. Rule number 1 says us that if the reporting verb is in present tense or in future tense, then there will be no change of tense in reported speech. Only in place of comma and quotation we have to put that, and according to the subject and object of the reporting verb we have to change the subject and object of the reported speech if necessary. So here in first sentence we got it is necessary to change because it was my father and subject of the reporting verb was he, and here in the second sentence we find that subject is not necessary to change because subject of the reported speech is I and subject of the reporting verb is also I. So this is the examples of first rule. Now we have to proceed towards the second rule. What does the second rule tell us? The second rule tells us about the reported speech. If the reported speech is in universal truth or habitual action, if the reported speech is universal truth or habitual action, then also there will be no change of reported speech. There will be no change of tense in reported speech. Only in place of comma quotation we have to put that, and according to the subject and object of the reporting verb we have to change the subject and object of the reported speech if necessary. Rule number 2 tells us if the reporting verb, whatever kind it is, present or past or future, if the reported speech is universal truth or habitual action, then there will be no change of tense in reported speech. Only in place of comma and quotation we have to put that, and according to the subject and object of the reported speech we have to change the subject and on the basis of the subject of the reporting verb, we have to change the subject and object of the reported speech if necessary. So let us see one or two examples. He said the earth moves around the sun. So here the reporting verb is what? Said. It is in past tense. So we have not said anything about past tense yet. We said if the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, then there will be no change of tense in reported speech. So we are not thinking about reporting verb here. In second rule, we said what? If the reported speech is universal truth or habitual action, then also there will be no change of tense in reported speech. So here we are getting what? The earth moves around the sun. This is universal truth. This is what? Universal truth. And when we get a sentence like this, we have to understand that there will be no change of tense in reported speech. Only what we have to do? We have to put that in place of comma and quotation, and then if the on the basis of the subject and object of the reporting verb, we have to change the subject and object of the reported speech if it is necessary. So let's see. He said, there will be no change here because I said only if it is said to, then it will be told. If it is says to, then it will be tells. So here it is only said, there will be no change. He said, in place of comma quotation, we have to put what? That. Here there is no need to change the subject because it is he and it is the earth. He said that the earth moves. It is in present indefinite, so it will remain in present indefinite tense because rule tells us that if it is universal truth, then there will be no change of tense in reported speech. He said that the earth moves around the sun. This is one more example. Example of habitual action. Let's see, so easy. If you listen to my discussion and if you look at the board, you can understand very easily. So rule number 2, example number 2, the boy said to me, comma, I take bath every day. Every day is telling us that this is what? Habitual action. That means he takes bath every day. This is habitual action. So when we get a sentence of habitual action as reported speech, we know that there will be no change of tense in reported speech. So what to do? In reporting verb it is what? Said to. So said to will become what? Told. The boy told me. In place of comma quotation that, and it is I and it is the boy. He is telling about himself, so it will be what? He. It is in present indefinite, it will remain in present indefinite. As the subject was I, that's why it was take. When the subject will be third person singular number, it will take one s with it. He takes bath every day. The sentence in the question is in present indefinite and sentence in the answer is also in present indefinite. What we have changed? Only we have changed the subject. We have not changed the tense of the sentence. So question was, the boy said to me, I take bath every day. Answer is, the boy told me that he takes bath every day. How this told came? It is there in the list of changing words. I said you, if it is said to, then it will be what? Told. So it was said to, it has become told, and there is not change of tense in reported speech, as the reported speech is a habitual action. So these are the examples of rule number 2. Now let us proceed towards the rule number 3. This is a bit longer. Rule number 3 tells us, if the reporting verb is in past tense, if the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, we discussed already. Then left what? Past tense. So if the reporting verb is in past tense and the reported speech is not a universal truth or a habitual action, then there will be change of tense in reported speech. Once more, listen to me carefully. If the reporting verb is in past tense and the reported speech is not a universal truth or a habitual action, then there will be change of tense in reported speech. So, here we have found that if the reporting verb is in past tense and the reported speech is not a universal truth or habitual action, we have to change the tense of the reported speech. Then how to change? How to change? Which tense will become which tense? I am telling you very carefully, you listen, and it is better to note this down. I will tell very slowly. Present indefinite will become past indefinite. Present continuous will become past continuous. Present perfect will become past perfect. Present perfect continuous will become past perfect continuous. Past indefinite will become past perfect. Past continuous will become past perfect continuous. And if shall or will is there in the sentence, we have to change the sentence, we have to change these words into should or would. So mostly we change both the words towards would. If we write should, then it will be a bit confusing. Then also we can write should, but it is better to write would in place of shall or will. Once more I am telling you, if the reporting verb is in past tense and reported speech is not a universal truth or habitual action, then we have to change the tense of the reported speech. How to change? If it is in present indefinite, it will become past indefinite. If it is present continuous, then it will become past continuous. If it is present perfect, then it will become past perfect. If it is present perfect continuous, it will become past perfect continuous. If it is past indefinite, then it will become past perfect. If it is past continuous, then it will become past perfect continuous. And if it is shall or will, it will become what? Should or would. Shall will become should would. That means shall will denote us that the sentence is in future tense. So what future tense, whatever it is, future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect continuous. If it is shall, it will become should. If it is will, it will become would. It is better to change both the sentences into would. I hope it is clear. Here one thing you have to note down, or you have to specify this one when you will write this in your copy. Present perfect becomes what? Past perfect, and past indefinite also becomes what? Past perfect. Present perfect becomes what? Past perfect, and past indefinite also becomes what? Past perfect in indirect narration. So from here we have understood one thing. If in indirect narration we get past perfect tense, then we are getting two options. We can bring it back to present perfect, or we can make it past indefinite also, because present perfect also becomes what? Past perfect, and past indefinite also becomes what? Past perfect. So past perfect is in indirect narration, so to make it direct, two tenses becomes past perfect, so we can bring back this to any of these tenses. On the basis of the meaning, while changing, I will tell you how to bring into past indefinite and how to bring into present perfect. So these are the rules. How to change present indefinite, past indefinite, present continuous, past continuous, present perfect, past perfect, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, past indefinite, past perfect, past continuous, past perfect continuous. And if shall will are there, then it will be what? Should or would. And I said one more thing very carefully, you have to listen. Shall can become should and will can become what? Would, but it is better to change both the sentences as would. Let's try examples. He said, I like sweets. The reporting verb is in past tense, and reported speech is not a universal truth or habitual action. So we have to change. How to change? How to change? If the reported speech is in present indefinite, it will become what? Past indefinite. If it is in present continuous, then past continuous. So here we got I like sweets. This is what? Present indefinite tense. So how to change? You see, he said. In place of comma quotation, that. Then it is he, it is I, it will become what? He. And it is present indefinite. verb is telling us that this sentence is in present indefinite, it will become what? Past indefinite. Past indefinite, how to write? Second form of the verb, simply. He said that he liked sweets. Finished. Very simple. He said, I like sweets. Indirect narration is what? He said that he liked sweet. Be careful, we are changing narration of assertive sentence only. Then let's see one more example. The boy said, I did the work yesterday. I did the work yesterday. Said, past tense, and reported speech is not a universal truth or habitual action, then we have to change. So how to write? The boy said, in place of comma condition, that. The boy said that. It is I and it is the boy. So it is third person, it is first person, it will be changed on the basis of this, it will be what? He. Now you see, did the work yesterday, past indefinite tense. I subject, second form of the verb, did is given past indefinite tense. And I said you, if reported speech is in past indefinite tense, it will become what? Past perfect tense. Past perfect tense, how to write? Subject, then had, then third form of the verb, do, did, done. He had done the work, and yesterday will become what? The previous day. It is there in the list of changing words I gave you. The work, he had done the work the previous day or the day before. The previous day, anything you can write. That previous day also you can write, the day before also you can write. I hope it is clear. Let's take one more. This example I have given of past indefinite tense. Let's take one more example. Now we will take the example of present perfect tense, because present perfect also becomes what? Past perfect. I said to him, I have completed my homework. I have completed my homework. Now it is said to, it will become what? I told him. It is past tense and this is not a universal truth or habitual action, then you have to change the tense. So I told him, in place of comma quotation, that. This is I and this is also I, so it will remain same. I have completed present perfect tense, and I said you, present perfect becomes what? Past perfect. Past perfect, how to write? I had, then third form of the verb, it is there. I had completed my home work. Finished. So simple. Present perfect becomes what? Past perfect. Let's take one more example of future tense. Future tense, what I said, if it is shall or will, we have to change into should or would. Very simple. She said, my mother will cook food. My mother will cook food tomorrow. So this will is denoting that the sentence is in future tense, and tomorrow is also denoting that the sentence is in future tense. So will cook, it is what? Future indefinite. So here we are not to think about future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect. We have to change will into would only. So this is past tense and this is not a universal truth or habitual action, so we have to change the tense of the reported speech. How? She said, it is not said to, so it will remain same. She said, in place of comma quotation, that. She said that. So it is she, and she is telling about her mother. So it will be what? Her mother. She said that her mother will become what? Would. Her mother would cook food. Tomorrow will become what? The next day. Very simple. It is finished here. So simple. She said that her mother would cook food the next day. So rule number 3, we have completed. Once more I am reminding you, rule number 3 tells us that if the reporting verb is in past tense and reported speech is not a universal truth or habitual action, then there will be change of tense in reported speech. How to change? If the reported speech is in present indefinite, it will become past indefinite. If it is in present continuous, it will become what? Past continuous. If it is in present perfect, then it will become past perfect. If it is present perfect continuous, then it will become past perfect continuous. If it is past indefinite, it will become past perfect. If it is past continuous, then it will become past perfect continuous. And if we get shall or will, it will become what? Should or would. So I gave you the examples. I hope it is clear. Now we are to proceed towards the next sentence. Assertive sentence finished. These are the rules of assertive sentence. Now we will go to interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence, very simply we can identify, question mark will be there at the end of the sentence. Interrogative sentence. This one, if the reporting verb is in present tense or future tense, then there will be no change of tense in reported speech. It will remain same in future interrogative sentence also. If the reporting verb is in past tense and reported speech is not a universal to the habitual action, then there will be change of tense in reported speech. These also will remain same. What will be changed? In place of reporting verb, if it is said or said to, it will become asked. If it is says or says to, it will become what? Asks. That means if it is in present tense, whatever it is, said or said to, it will be asked. If it is in present, if it is in past tense, if it is said to or said, it will be asked. If it is in present tense, says or says to, it will become asks. And if it is shall say or will say, it will remain a shall ask, will ask. One more word we can use, so you don't be confused. I am telling you, because if in indirect narration, if you get sentence using that word, then you should not be confused. That's why I am telling you. But while changing from direct to indirect, you don't try to use that particular word. In place of reporting verb, we can use one more word, enquire of. ENQUIREOF. Enquire of also we can use in place of reporting verb in indirect in interrogative sentence. So while changing from direct to indirect, we are not to use that one because we will be confused. But I am telling you this because if we get a sentence of indirect narration using enquire of, then we should not be confused that this is of interrogative sentence. So what happens? Interrogative sentences are of two types. One is what? Yes no type interrogative. Another one is what? WH type interrogative or informative interrogative or information type interrogative. Yes no type interrogative means what? A sentence or a question whose answer we can give in yes or no. And information type question or WH type question is what? A question for which we cannot answer in yes or no. This is what? Informative question or WH type question. That means for that type of question we have to answer elaborately, we have to give an information. Yes no type questions, generally it is already discussed, several times I discussed. Once more I am telling here, yes no type questions generally starts with what? Auxiliary verb. If a question starts with auxiliary verb, then we have to understand that this is what? Yes no type question. And if the sentence, interrogative sentence starts with any word having WH, so we have to understand that this is WH type question or informative question or information type questions. First of all, here we will discuss about yes no type question. What happens in yes no type question? In place of reporting verb, if it is in present tense, then we have to use what? Asks. If it is in past tense, then we have to use what? Asked. In place of comma quotation, we have to use if or whether, anything, if or whether, no problem. Where to use if and where to use whether, there is no differentiation. You can use anything, anywhere, if or whether, WH, THER and IF if. In place of comma quotation, be careful that these two words we can use only in interrogative sentence. What type of interrogative? If it is yes no type interrogative. Sometimes no students commit mistake, they write if or whether in place of WH type question also, but be careful, this should not be used in case of WH type question. This if or whether will be used in place of comma quotation only in case of yes no type questions. After putting this if or whether, what to do? We have to make the sentence assertive. We have to make the sentence assertive. How to make the sentence assertive? Very simple it is. I discussed in earlier classes. If the sentence is asked, if the question is asked with the help of auxiliary verb, then the subject will come first and we have to take the auxiliary verb after the subject. It will become what? Assertive. If the question is asked with do, then we have to omit do, then sentence will become what? Assertive. If the question is asked with the help of does, then we have to omit does and we have to add s or es with the verb. It will become what? Assertive. If the question is asked with the help of did, then we have to omit did and we have to use the second form of the verb. It will become what? Assertive. So what I said, after using if or whether in place of comma quotation, we have to change the sentence into assertive, and after changing the sentence into assertive, what to do? We have to follow that earlier rule. Present indefinite becomes past indefinite, present continuous become past continuous, present perfect become past perfect, present perfect continuous becomes past perfect continuous, past indefinite becomes past perfect, past continuous becomes past perfect continuous, and shall will become should would. This is very simple. Once more you listen very carefully. I am telling you, if it is a sentence of yes no type interrogative, then in place of comma quotation we have to use asked or asks. If we use asks, then we have to know that the reported speech will not be changed because the reporting verb is in present tense. If it is asked, then what to do? In place of comma quotation we have to use if or whether. After using if or whether, we have to change the sentence into assertive. How to change? Just I told you. After changing the sentence into assertive, we have to follow that rule. How to change present indefinite to past indefinite, present continuous to past continuous, these things. See, if we practice one or two examples, it will be easier for us. He said to me. He said to me, comma. Are you a student? Question mark. So from question mark we have understood this is what? Interrogative sentence, and from this auxiliary verb we have understood that this is what? Yes no type interrogative, that is yes no type question. In yes no type question or in interrogative sentence, in place of said to, what we have to use? What? Asked. In place of says to, we have to use asks. So it is said to, what to use? He asked me. He asked me. In place of said not, in place of said to, we have used to asked. If it is said only, then also we have to use asked. So he asked me. In place of comma quotation we have to use what? If or whether. I have used if. We can use whether also. Then what I said, you have to change the sentence into assertive. This is auxiliary verb, so very simple. How to change this one assertive? The assertive will be what? You are a student. You are a student. So after changing the sentence into assertive form, we have to change the tense of the sentence. You are a student. Present indefinite tense. It will become what? Past indefinite. He asked me if. It is me object and it is you. So he is asking me. He is asking me. This he is asking me. That's why it will be what? I. He asked me if I. Are, it was in present tense. Now it will past tense. It will be what? Was. If I was a student. Finished. Very simple. What I did once more, you see. I changed the sentence into assertive. Are you a student? I made it what? You are a student. You means what? I, because here the object is me. That's why I have written I. And this was are in present tense. It will be was in past tense, because we know that present indefinite becomes what? Past indefinite. So answer is what? He asked me if I was a student. Let's practice one more example. I said, do you know Sachin? Do you know Sachin? This is what? Interrogative question, interrogative sentence, because the question mark is there at the end. And what type of interrogative it is? It is yes or no interrogative. How have you understood? Because the question is asked with the help of do. This is auxiliary verb. So now how to change? Let's see. I asked, interrogative sentence, that's why asked. I told you, if it is said to, then also asked. If it is said, then also asked. I asked. In place of comma quotation, it will be what? If or whether. Here let's write whether. I asked whether. Do you know Sachin? Whom I am asking? That means someone is there. So it is third person. Whether he. Make it assertive. Do you know Sachin? Assertive, how to make it assertive? I told you, if do is there at the beginning of the sentence, then to make it assertive, what to do? We are just to omit the word do, it will become assertive. So after omitting, the rest part remains what? You know Sachin. You means he, and it is in present indefinite, it will become what? Past indefinite. I asked whether he knew Sachin. Finished. As we have changed the sentence into assertive, that's why we have to put full stop at the end. In indirect narration, there will be no question. In indirect narration, there will be no question. One more example. Let's try. You just match what I said with the examples and practice at home again and again. One more example. She said to her friend, will you help me? Interrogative sentence, question mark is there. Interrogative sentence we have understood. And what type of interrogative it is? It is yes no type interrogative, because auxiliary verb is there at the beginning. Yes no type interrogative. Now we have to change. In place of said to, we have to use what? Asked. She asked. Whom she asked? Her friend. She asked her friend. Now in place of comma quotation, we have to use anything, if or whether. Let's use if. Now we have to make the sentence assertive. Will you help me? It will be what? You will help me. You will help me is the assertive form. So you means what? She asked her friend. Her friend is what? Assertive. So if she, and you will help me. We have changed you to she, and now will become what? Would. It is said by me earlier already. If she would help this she me. That means she is asking whether her friend will help her. Help her. She asked her friend if she would help her. She asked her friend if she would help her. Once more I am telling, in place of reporting verb, we have to use what? Asked. If it is in present tense, then asks. In place of comma quotation, if or whether. Then after using if or whether, we have to change the sentence into assertive. And after changing the sentence into assertive, we have to change the tense of the sentence according to the earlier rule. In assertive sentence, we made no present indefinite, past indefinite, present continuous, past continuous, that one, because we have already changed the sentence into assertive. So we have to follow the rule of assertive sentence here. So we have changed. I hope you have understood. If you have not understood, if you have any doubt, so you have my number, you can contact me. Next, we are proceeding towards WH type question. WH type question. WH type question. In WH type question, what to do? In place of reporting verb, no change. Interrogative sentence, we have to use what? Asked. In place of comma quotation, we are not to use any extra word. We are not to use any extra word. The word which has been used at the beginning of the question, we have to use that particular word in place of comma quotation. Be careful. In yes no type question, we have used word if or whether, but in WH type question, we are not to use anything extra. The word that is used at the beginning of the question, what, which, how, when, the same word will be used. After writing this much, we have to see the next part of the sentence. We will get a question. We will get a question having auxiliary verb at the beginning. So we have to change that part into assertive, and then after changing the sentence into assertive, we have to change the tense of the sentence. How? After using a WH type word in place of comma quotation, and the rest part will be a yes no type question, because we know that whenever we ask a question using WH type word, then we have to use auxiliary verb after that. What are you doing? This is a question. What you are doing? This is not a question. When will you come back? This is a question. When you will come back? This is not a question. So after using what, after using how, after using when, we will get what? The next part of the sentence having auxiliary verb at the beginning, and then we have to change the sentence into assertive. How to change? We have to bring subject first, then auxiliary verb, it will become what? Assertive. And after making the sentence into assertive, we can change the tense of the sentence as per the norms of assertive sentence. So let's practice one or two sentences. It will be easier for you. He said to me, what are you doing now? Question mark. What are you doing now? So to write what? He in interrogative sentence, whatever interrogative it is, in place of said or said to, we have to use what? Asked. He asked me. Now this is not yes no type question, that's why we cannot put E for whether. We have to bring this word. What is there? What. Now up to this finished. Now we have to see. Are you doing now? Are you doing? It will become what? You are doing. Are you doing means what? You are doing means not. You are doing in assertive. So after changing the sentence into assertive, we have to change the tense. You means who. You means who. He asked me. You means I. What? I. On the basis of this will be changed. What? I. Are you are doing. You I in place of you I have written I. Are doing present continuous. It will become what? Past continuous. What I was doing now will become what? Then. Now will become then. Full stop. Once more we listen. He said to me. In place of said to, we have written what? Asked. In place of said to, we have written what? Asked. In place of comma position, we are not to use any new word. The word that is used at the beginning of the question, we have to use that particular word. We have used what? Then we have to change the remaining part of the sentence into assertive. Are you doing? It was. So assertive will be what? You are doing. And then we have to change the tense of that part. So you means what? I. Why? Because he is asking me. So it is I. You are doing. Present continuous will become what? Past continuous. Rule tells us present continuous becomes what? Past continuous. That's why I was doing. Past continuous formation is what? Subject, then was or were, then verb ing. I was doing, and now will become what? Then. One more example you see. My father said to me. My father said to me. When will you? When will you return back? When will you return back? Question mark. Interrogative sentence. WH type interrogative. So what to do in place of reporting verb? We have to use what? Asked. My father asked me. In place of comma quotation, we are not to use anything extra. This particular word, when, we have to bring when. Then will you return back? It will become what? You will return back. Assertive, we have to make it assertive. You will return back. You means what? She is asking, my father is asking me. So this you will become what? I. We will become what? Would. When I would return back. Finished. This is not question mark. This will be what? Full stop. Because in indirect narration, interrogative sentences change into assertive. My father asked me when I would return back. One more example, and this is the last example of this rule. These are not enough. I am telling you the rule. I am showing you how to change. You change or you practice at your home regularly, because grammar is a thing. If you stop practicing, no, you will forget. So you I think all of you have. I told you several times to buy question bank, and in question bank you will get a lot of questions, not the answers. You will get a lot of questions, then it will help you to practice. One more question you see. I said to Ram. I said to Ram, what did you do last night? Question mark, quotation close. What did you do last night? Interrogative sentence, in place of reporting verb we have to use what? Asked. I asked Ram. In place of comma quotation, we are not to put anything extra. This particular word, we have to bring it in place of comma quotation. So I asked Ram what. Now we got the remaining part of the sentence. This is what? Yes, no type sentence. Did you do last night? So I told you how to make assertive of this sentence. We have to omit did and we have to use the second form of the verb. Assertive will be what? You did last night. You did last night. So I asked whom? Ram. Ram is third person. That's why what? He. Did past indefinite, and past indefinite becomes what? Past perfect. Past perfect how to write? Subject, then head, then third form of the verb. Third form of the verb is what? Done. What he had done last night will become what? The previous night. Then full stop, finished. Very simple. Very simple it is. Once more I am telling you, this example is finished, rule also finished. Once more I am telling you how to do. If we get a WH type question as reported speech, then what to do? In place of reporting verb we have to use asked. In place of comma quotation we are not to use anything extra. We have to write the particular word which is used at the beginning of the sentence, what or which or how or when. Then the remaining part of the sentence will be an yes no type interrogative, and we have to change the yes no type interrogative into assertive sentence. After changing the sentence into assertive, we have to change the tense of the sentence, and then we have to put a full stop at the end. So this is all about interrogative sentence WH type. Finished. Now we are proceeding towards the next sentence. Before that, once more I am telling you, we practice these at home. If you stop practicing, then you will forget. And for practicing, the better option is what? To buy a question bank. Next sentence is what? Imperative sentence. So imperative sentence, what is imperative sentence? Very simply we can understand the sentence which denotes or which tells us about any word, order, advice, request, anything. This is what? Imperative sentence. So very simply, if we try to understand, then I can tell you that imperative sentence mostly starts with verb or please. Mostly starts with verb or please. So how to change? This is the easiest of all the sentences in narration. Imperative sentence is the easiest of all the sentences. What to do? In place of reporting verb, we have to use ordered or advised or requested or commanded on the basis of the meaning of the reported speech. If the meaning of the reported speech tells us that this is an order, then in place of reporting verb it will be ordered. If it is advised, then it will be advised. If it is request, then it will be requested. If it is command, then it will be commanded. So in place of reporting verb, we have to write what? Ordered, advised, requested or commanded on the basis of the meaning of the reported speech. Then in place of comma quotation, we have to use what? You have to use what? To. We have to use what? To, and the remaining part of the sentence will remain same. Once more, in place of reporting verb, we have to use what? Ordered, advised, requested or commanded on the basis of the meaning of the reported speech. And after that, we will get the comma and quotation. In place of comma quotation, we have to use what? To, and the remaining part will remain same. There will be no change of tense, because in reporting verb we have already changed the sentence. And if the sentence is in negative, then in place of comma quotation we have to use not to. While practicing, we will get this one. So take this one in your mind. If the sentence is in negative, then in place of comma quotation we have to use what? Not to. So let's try a sentence. He said to me, stand up. Stand up. This is what imperative sentence, because he is ordering me to stand up. Or we can identify it from another way also. This is a verb. The sentence started with a verb. This is what? Imperative sentence. So what I said, in place of reporting verb we have to use ordered or advised or requested or commanded on the basis of this. So here we are finding this is an order. That's why in place of said to, we have to use what? Ordered. If it is said, then also ordered. If it is said to, then also ordered. he ordered me. In place of comma quotation, what to use? I said you just a to. He ordered me to, then the remaining part will remain same. Stand up. He ordered me to stand up. Finished. One more of another type, that means of advice or request. Very simple it is. I said to him, please enter by the next door. Please is there, we have understood this is what imperative sentence, very simple, and please denoting us that this is a request. So in place of said to, what to use? Requested. I requested him to, because of please we have written already requested, that's why you have to omit please. There will be no please here. Please, meaning of please has already been mentioned here. I requested him to, the remaining part will remain same. Enter by the next door. Finished. I requested him to enter by the next door. What we have used in place of comma quotation, we have to use to only, and on the basis of the meaning of that we have to change the reporting verb. Then the remaining part of the reported speech will remain same. Now what I said, if we get a negative imperative, negative meaning in imperative sentence, then we have to use not to in place of comma quotation. Let's practice one or two examples. See, she said to her son, comma, don't run in the sun. So this is imperative because here she is ordering her son in negative way. She is ordering her son in negative way. So this is negative interrogative, imperative. What to do in place of said to, have to use what? She ordered her son. She ordered her son. In place of comma quotation, what to use? It is, as it is negative, that's why you have to use what? Not to. She ordered her son not to run in the sun. Remaining part will remain same, not to run in the sun. Finished. One more way is there, we can change it. If it is in negative, then we can use prohibited here. Prohibited, if we use prohibited, then in place of comma quotation we have to use to. Just I am telling you, you keep in your mind, but if you get indirect narration, then don't try to use prohibited. It will be confusing. So just see how I am telling. She said to her son, don't run in the sun. She prohibited her son to run in the sun. She prohibited her son to run in the sun. How? Because if we use prohibited, then we have to use to in place of comma quotation, because in prohibited we have already used not. In prohibited we have already used not. That's why there will be no not. So we can change negative imperative using prohibited also, but that one will be confusing. If we are changing a direct narration, in indirect narration we have to use not to. It is better for us to use not to. If we go to use prohibited, then it will be a bit tougher, but I am not telling you that if we use prohibited then it will be wrong. So if we use prohibited after getting don't, then we have to be careful. In place of comma quotation we cannot use not to, we have to use to. One more example. I said to him, don't make a noise. Don't make a noise. So I can change it in two ways. I'll show you both the ways. I said to will become what? Ordered him. Ordered written, that's why in place of comma quotient it is as it is negative, then we have to use what? Not to. I ordered him not to make a noise. But if we use prohibited in place of said to, then how to write? I prohibited him to make. It will not be not to, it will be to only, because in prohibited already the meaning of not is included. I prohibited him to make a noise. Finished. This is all about the narration of imperative sentence. Now let's proceed to the next sentence, optative sentence. What is optative sentence? Optative sentence, the sentence that tell us about wish or prayer, about wish or prayer. This is what? Optative sentence. Very simply also, very simply if we try to understand, then it will be what? If the sentence starts with, may God, the sentence starts with may God or long live, this will be what? Optative sentence. This is the easiest way to understand. Always it will not be like this. So simply in class 10, up to class 10 level, optative sentence always you will get having what? May God or long live in the beginning. If the sentence starts with may God or long live, this will be what? Optative sentence. So in optative sentence, what to do? On the basis of the meaning of the reported speech, on the basis of the meaning of the reported speech, we have to use what? Prayed or wished. Prayed, P-R-A-Y-E-D. Prayed or wished, W-I-S-H-E-D, wished. We have to use prayed or wished in place of reporting verb. Then in place of comma quotation we have to use what? That. In place of comma quotation we have to use what? That. Then God, may God will become what? God might, and the remaining part will remain same. May God will become what? God might, and the remaining part will remain same. Once more I am telling you. On the basis of the meaning of the reported speech of optative sentence, we have to use wished or prayed in place of reporting verb. Wished or prayed in place of reporting verb. And then in place of comma quotation we have to use what? That. We have to use that. Then after using that, may God is there, it will become what? God might, and the remaining part will remain same. Let's practice one example. She said to me, may God help you. So this is what? Prayer. So in place of said to, we can write what? She prayed that. So here one thing you have to note it down. You have to be very careful. Only in place of optative sentence, after said to, that means after reporting verb, if we get any object, then in indirect narration we are not to mention this one. Before that we have to use it, we have to change the object of the reported speech on the basis of the object of the reporting verb only. We are not to use here she prayed that, she prayed me that, no need to write. We have to write she prayed that, then this me will change this you. We are not to mention this object here. Very carefully listen. Once more I am telling you, in optative sentence, after the reporting verb, if we get any object, when we will change the sentence into indirect narration, then before that, that means after reporting verb, we are not to put that object, but on the basis of that object we have to change the object of the reported speech only. So here I have not mentioned me here. She prayed that. Then I said may God will become what? God might, then help. This, on the basis of this you will be changed. She is telling me, that's why she prayed that God might help me. She prayed that God might help me. one more example. You see, the PM, that is Prime Minister, PM of India said, may God make India a happy and prosperous country. May God make India a happy and prosperous country. So we got may God, that's why it will be imperative. So here he is praising or praying or wishing. He is wishing. That means it is his wish that God will make India a happy and prosperous country. So we can write the PM of India wished, or we can write PM of India prayed. So it is better, if you do not understand, if it is not clear to you whether it is prayer or wish, then in place of reporting verb always we can use what? Wished. Always we can use what? Wished. So the PM of India, if it is clear, then we can use prayed or wished separately. But if it is not clear, if we are confused what to use, whether it is prayer or whether it is wish, then without hesitation we can put wished. It will be correct. So the PM of India wished that God might, may God will become what? God might make India a happy and prosperous country. See, the PM of India wished that God might make India a happy and prosperous country. Finished. This is what? Of optative sentence having what? May God. Optative sentence having what? May God. So one thing here we have to be very careful. If in reporting verb, that means after reporting verb, if we get any object, in indirect narration we are not to mention that object, rather on the basis of that object we have to change the object of the reported speech. Very simple. In place of reporting verb we have to use wished or prayed. In place of comma quotation we have to use what? That. Then may God will become what? God might, and the remaining part will remain same. Just on the basis of the object of the reporting verb we have to change the object of the reported speech. Finish. Here there was no object, so we are not in need of changing the object, as there is no object in this sentence after reporting verb. Now if the sentence optative sentence starts with long live, if the optative sentence starts with long live, then what to do? The same thing, if the optative sentence starts with long live, then in place of reporting verb always we have to use what? Wished. Always we have to use what? Wished. In place of comma quotation, that. After putting that, we have to see about whom the word long live has been said. We have to bring him after that. Then as it is optative sentence, we have to use one more extra word, as there is no may in the sentence, but we have to use might. Then long live will become what? Live long. Once more I am telling you, if the optative sentence starts with long live, then in place of reporting verb we have to use what? Wished. In place of reporting verb we have to use what? Wished. In place of comma quotation, that. After that we have to see about whom the word long live has been said, the person or the thing or the country or anything. We have to bring that man or that person or that thing back just after that, and then after using that particular word we have to write what? Might. Might is not, may is not there in direct narration, but we have to write might as it is optative sentence. After writing might, the long live will become what? Live long. Let's take an example. See, he said long live Netaji. So long live is there, optative sentence, and I said if long live is there, then in place of reporting bar we have to use what? Wished. He wished. In place of comma quotation what? That. Then you see what I said, we have to find out about whom this word long live has been said. So here long live has been said about Netaji, so you have to write Netaji here. Then this extra word, though there is no may in the sentence, but as it is optative sentence, you have to write might. Netaji might, then long live will become what? Live long. Finished. Very simple. If a sentence starts with long live, then in place of reporting bar we have to use what? Wished. In place of comma quotation that. Then we have to see about whom the word long live has been said. We have to write that one. So here long live has been said about Netaji, we have written Netaji. Then we have to use what? Might, an extra word, though there is no may in the sentence, but we have to use might as it is optative sentence. After writing might, we have to change the word long live into live long. Finished. So he said long live Netaji, it will be what? He wished that Netaji might live long. Or we can say that the people of India said long live India. So people of India wish that India might live long. So this is all about optative sentence. Now the last sentence, we have come to the last sentence. This is what? Exclamatory sentence. To identify exclamatory sentence, it will be easier like interrogative sentence because sign of exclamation will be there. So two types of exclamatory sentences are there. What are they? One is original exclamatory, that means having exclamatory words. Another one is what? Makeshift exclamatory, where there will be no exclamatory word. Using other words, the sentence will be changed into exclamatory. So how to change? Direct narration, direct to indirect of exclamatory sentences. See, makeshift exclamatory and original exclamatory. The original exclamatory means what? Exclamatory words. What are the exclamatory words? Hooray, bravo, wow, oh. Another one, another part we have oh, ooh, ooh, oh, ooh. These are what? Exclamatory words. And if we get these kind of words in a sentence, then we have to understand this is what? Exclamatory. What kind of exclamatory it is? It is original exclamatory, is not makeshift exclamatory. I have written in two columns. Why? Because these words denotes what? Happiness. And these words denotes what? Sadness. As we know, exclamatory sentence, what is exclamatory sentence? Exclamatory sentence denotes what? Sudden feeling. Sudden feeling. Suddenly someone is happy or sad, or sometimes it will be what? Surprise also. So surprise, it will be what? or makeshift exclamatory. So in original exclamatory, what to do? These words you have to note down in your copy. Hurray, bravo, wow, oh, ooh. So in sentence, when we'll get an exclamatory sentence as reported speech, what to do? In place of reporting bar, we have to write what? Exclaimed. And on the basis of the word of the reported speech, if it is happy, then exclaimed in joy. If it is sadness, if the word is of sadness, then exclaimed in sorrow. Exclaimed in joy or exclaimed in sorrow, we can write exclaimed with joy also, exclaimed with sorrow also. Exclaimed in joy or exclaimed in sorrow. On the how to write joy or sorrow? On the basis of the words I have given. If the words are telling us about happiness, then exclaimed in joy. If the words are telling us about sadness, then we have to write exclaimed in sorrow. So exclaimed in joy, exclaimed in sorrow, we can write exclaimed with joy or exclaimed with sorrow. In place of comma quotation, that. In place of comma quotation, that. Then the exclamatory word will be omitted. Exclamatory word will be omitted because we have already written exclaimed in joy or exclaimed in sorrow, exclaimed with joy or exclaimed with sorrow. That's why the word will be omitted. And what will be there? We will get the next part as assertive sentence, and we have to change the tense of that assertive sentence as we have discussed in assertive sentence. Let's practice one example. They said, hooray, we have won the match. Hooray, we have won the match. Full stop. This is sign of exclamation. This is telling us that this is an exclamatory sentence, and this word is telling us this is happiness. This word is denoting happiness. That's why it will be what? They exclaimed, exclaimed, exclaimed in joy, as it is telling us about happiness. So they exclaimed in joy that. Now hooray we are not to write, because in place of hooray we have written already exclaimed in joy. Remaining part is what? We have won the match. We means what? They. This is present perfect tense. It will become what? Past perfect tense. As we have finished this part, remaining part is an assertive sentence. So we have to follow the rule of assertive sentence. So it will be what? They had won the match. They had won the match. One more example of original exclamatory. She said, in sadness column, no, you use one more extra word, alas. Alas. This also, you add one more extra word, alas. So she said, alas, sign of exclamation, I am undone. So alas is denoting what? Sadness. So it will be what? She exclaimed in sorrow. In place of comma quotation, that. Now we have to omit this alas, because in place of alas we have already written exclaimed in sorrow, that this is I and this is she. She is telling, that's why it will be what? She. Exclaimed in sorrow that she. Am in present tense, it will be in past tense. She was undone. She exclaimed in sorrow that she was undone. I hope it is clear. So whatever word we will get, from there we have to understand, we have to use exclaimed in sorrow or exclaimed in joy. After using exclaimed in sorrow, exclaimed in joy, in place of comma quotation we have to put that. Then remaining part will be an assertive part, assertive sentence, because we are not to write this. In place of that we have already written exclaimed in sorrow, exclaimed in joy, and remaining part will be an assertive sentence. And as in assertive sentence we said we have to change the tense of the sentence, we have to change the tense of this part also. So finished. Assertive exclamatory sentence, original exclamatory, it is finished here. Next, makeshift exclamatory. Makeshift exclamatory, here we will get what? Exclamatory sign at the end of the sentence. Using interrogative words, the exclamatory will be made. He said, what a nice building it is. What a nice building it is. This is the symbol. If the symbol is at the end of the sentence, then we have to understand this is what? This is what? Makeshift exclamatory. So how to change the narration of makeshift exclamatory? We have to use exclaimed in surprise, exclaimed in shock, exclaimed in wonder, whatever we can, whatever we think it is appropriate for the meaning of that part we have to use. Then in place of comma quotation we have to use what? That. In place of comma quotation we have to use that. After using that, we have to write the subject of the sentence, about whom the sentence has been said. Okay. Then the auxiliary verb of the sentence will be used, changing the tense of the sentence. Auxiliary verb. Then if there is any determiner, then we have to use the determiner. Then after using determiner, we have to use two words, very or great. We have to use any of these two words, very or great, very or great. Then the remaining part will remain same, and the remaining part will remain same. Once more I am telling. If it is makeshift exclamatory, then in place of reporting bar we have to write exclaimed in wonder, exclaimed in surprised, cried out in joy, cried out in surprise, cried out in wonder, anything. In place of comma quotation, that. In place of comma quotation, that. After writing that, we have to bring back the subject first. We have to bring back the subject first. Okay. After writing subject, we have to see about the auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb will be there in the sentence. We have to write the auxiliary verb changing the tense of the sentence. After auxiliary verb, if there is any determiners, we have to write the determiner, and after using the determiner, we have to use any of these two words, very or great, and then the remaining part will remain same. Let's see how it is. So it is a surprising thing. He was surprised to see the building. So building was very nice. So he exclaimed in wonder, or surprise also we can write. He exclaimed in wonder that it is the subject, it is there, it will be was, it was a, then determiner is there, a, we have used a, it was a, then we have to use very or great. So here it will be very, we cannot use great anywhere. He exclaimed in wonder that it was a very, then the remaining part, nice building. Listen to me what I said. In case of makeshift exclamatory, we have to write what? Exclaim in wonder, exclaim in surprise, cried out in surprise, cried out in joy. Sometimes in surprise people becomes happy, that's why cried out in joy also we can write. In place of comma quotation we have to use what? That. After using that we have to find out the subject, and then we have to write the subject. And after using the subject we have to use the auxiliary verb of the sentence changing the tense of the sentence. As it is not, changing the tense of the sentence, we have to write the auxiliary verb. Then if there is any determiner in the sentence, we have to use the determiner. Then we have to use any of the two words, very or great. We have used very here because with nice we cannot use great nice. We have to use very. Then the remaining part, very nice building. One more example. Class is becoming lengthy. That's why I am making it short. One more example you see. The man said, what a fool I am. So this is also a makeshift exclamatory. So what will be there? We can write the man exclaimed in wonder, the man exclaimed in sorrow, we can write, or cried out in sorrow, we can write. But we can write one more thing here, because he is feeling sad, he is feeling regretted, he is feeling what? Regretted. So we can write the man regretted. So he came back from market or somewhere else, coming to home, he understood that he was made fool by someone, so he is regretting. So we can write the man regretted that. What is the subject here? I. So it is the man. On the basis of this it will be changed. He. Then am, auxiliary verb am, it will be changing the tense. What it will be? That he was. Then determiners a. Then remain what? Full. Before that we have to use what? Great or very. You cannot write very full. We have to write what? Great full. The man regretted that he was a great fool. So this is the answer of this sentence. As I said, in place of reporting verb, on the basis of the meaning of that, we can use exclaimed in wonder, exclaimed in surprise, exclaimed in shock, or cried out in joy, cried out in sorrow, regret also you can use on the basis of the meaning of the reported speech. After using this word, we have to write what? That. After writing that, we have to find out the subject about whom the sentence has been said, subject. Then we have to change the auxiliary verb, we have to change the tense of the auxiliary verb. After changing the tense of the auxiliary verb, we have to write the determiner, what is there in the sentence, the determiner as it is, we have to put it. Then after putting the determiner, we have to write very or great, whatever will be applicable. So here it was full. Before full we cannot write very full, it will be great. So great full. Answer is finished. So 2, 3 exceptional rules left. Today's class has become longer, that's why I am not going to discuss the exceptional rules. 2 or 3 exceptional rules are there. I will discuss this one in another class while taking the class of common errors and prepositions. Then I will discuss about that. Today, up to this, if you face any problem, if you do not understand anything, because I have said a lot of things here, if you do not understand anything, you face any problem, you feel free to contact me at night from 8 to 10 p.m. I will be there for you to reply. With that, I am going to conclude my class. Thank you once again.